First of all, relax. There is no official information that confirms or denies that Ananta will not be releasing in 2025. Now, with that said, I do hear you asking, hey Mordant, what then is with the title and thumbnail of the video? So that's what I'm actually going to explain right now. So let's get into the video. Hey, what is up guys, it's Mordant. Now, if you like discussion videos, news videos, and challenge videos for any of the games that are on screen right now, I think you should consider subscribing to the channel. A ton of you who watch my videos aren't actually subscribed to my channel, and I would greatly appreciate it if you would just consider taking out just a little bit of your time to actually subscribe to the channel. Also leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, but with that said, let's get back to the video. So I was scrolling on my phone when I got a notification from Reddit, and the title of that notification actually scared me a little. So the title essentially said that Ananta does not need to release within 1 year. Now, why this was alarming to me was because just very recently, I made a video talking about why I believe that Ananta will release in 2025, and a very quick summary of what it is the Chinese license that you get. For those of you who don't know what the Chinese license actually means, for any game to be able to release in China, they need a license. And once you get that license, you have exactly 1 year from when you get that license to actually release the game, else you'll have to go renew the license again. And it's a whole can of worms in order to actually be able to do that. So with that being said, I clicked on the post to see what was going on, and the poster was essentially talking about the Chinese license, talking about how NetEase specifically has had some games where they would get the license, but they would not actually release the game within a year. It would actually come out a long time later. They mentioned 2 games, Where Winds Meet and Once Human. These 2 games got their licenses quite early, but they didn't release within a year from when they got it. They released quite a bit later. And so with that, the poster essentially said that it's not a must that Ananta will release in a year's time, because of the fact that in some other games, they've actually waited past that period before they were actually able to do this. So let's actually talk about this. First of all, I want to start by giving props to every single person that actually replied this post on Reddit. All of them essentially said what I was going to say, which is to essentially correct the misunderstanding. The misunderstanding here is that the game doesn't have to release within a year. This is actually wrong. The game has to release within a year, but if the game doesn't release within a year, you can then go and reapply for the license. But you cannot launch the game unless you have that license. That's essentially the main thing. But with that being said, I got curious about those 2 games that the poster mentioned, and I wanted to check up on them and see whether or not they actually had their licenses before they were actually launched. Now, like I mentioned previously, there were 2 games that were actually listed by the OP of this post. One of them was Where Winds Meet, and the other was Once Human. I decided to check out only Where Winds Meet, and true to what the poster said, this game actually launched past its license date. So the game got its license on the 20th of June 2023, which means that by our theory, it should have launched on or before the 20th of June 2024. But if you go on Wikipedia and you check, you will actually see that the game launched on PC on the 27th of December 2024, and then also released on mobile in 2025, which is very, very strange. And actually, when I saw this, I actually panicked because I didn't understand what was going on. But there is a silver lining. So if we head over to the development information on the same Wikipedia page, you will actually see that the game was actually planned and scheduled to be launched on June of 2024, which actually lines up with the dates that the license was actually supposed to expire. So what then happened? Essentially what they said is that the game needed some more things, so because of that they had to push the release date. But then how come the license then didn't get renewed? I have one theory, and this is only a theory, so please take it with a grain of salt. But essentially what I think happened is that they renewed the license before it actually expired, which is why the game didn't actually show up on the MPP website anymore. So let me explain. So think about it like this. If you have like a subscription to, let's say, Netflix or something, and then you renew that license a day or 2 days or 3 days before it actually expires, on the day that your first subscription expires, you will not actually get your service cut off. Everything will just continue, but what will just happen is that your license will expire on the next month instead of the same month where you paid. So essentially what I think that happened is that NetEase renewed the license before the license actually expired, which is why it doesn't actually show up on the MPPA website, because technically the license never actually expired. So that's what I think happened, and I think that's the most logical thing, because it does check out, and it's the only thing that can make this kind of a situation make any little bit of sense. But with that being said, doesn't that just mean that it will also affect Ananta? Now, for those of you who've heard this and are panicking about whether or not Ananta will release in 2025, like I said in the beginning of the video, there is no official confirmation that the game is not going to come in 2025. And in my previous video, I also made sure to add some other reasons why I believe that the game is going to launch in 2025. One of the very big ones being Grand Theft Auto 6. Now, Grand Theft Auto 6 was announced in 2023, which is almost 2 years ago now, and that is one of the main things that is selling Ananta right now. Like, everywhere you go to talk about Ananta, the first thing that comes to everyone's mouth or mind is anime GTA 6. And the reason why is because of how similar the most recent trailer is to the GTA 6 trailer. Now, if the devs of Ananta were actually aiming for something like this, where GTA 6 is going to prop up the game, be like free advertisement for their game, the most likely thing is that they are not going to push the release date of the game to be very far away from Grand Theft Auto 6. Now, I'm being very careful with my words because I want to leave a little bit of forward room for them in case they do actually want to push the release date forward, maybe to say January or February. But anything past February, I think will probably be too late, because the hype of GTA 6 will probably be very much dead. In my very honest opinion, I believe that the game will launch before or a little bit after GTA 6. I personally favor before GTA 6 because I strongly believe that GTA 6 will cannibalize any other game that tries to release after it, because that is one of the most anticipated games in the world right now. So personally speaking, I don't believe that the release date of Ananta is not going to be within 2025. I still strongly believe that it's going to be 2025. But everything I've said is just my own opinion. And if the devs decide that they don't have the capability to release the game in good quality within 2025, then they are very, very free to not actually release the game in 2025. But what I'm going to implore you guys to do is just this. Don't be scared thinking that the game is not going to launch in 2025. Like I said in the beginning of the video, once again, the game has not officially confirmed or denied that it's not going to come out in 2025. At the same time, it also has not confirmed that it will be coming out in 2025. But if we look back at where winds meet, you will notice that the game was actually scheduled to release within a year after it got its license. It was supposed to release in June of 2024. It was because of the fact that the game needed some more things added to it that it got delayed, and that's probably why the license got renewed and why we don't see it on the MPPA website. That's if we believe that my theory about the license renewal is in fact correct. Now, if that's the case and we apply that to Ananta, that means that we will get a release date within this year. But then if it needs to be shifted, then they will announce that the game will need to be pushed forward in order to add some more things to the game. But like I've already mentioned, because of Grand Theft Auto 6, I really don't believe that they will be trying to push this game any further past GTA 6. I personally believe that it's going to come out before GTA 6, but that's just a theory. I'm not going to say a game theory. But with all that said, thank you all so much for watching the video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Also subscribe to the channel for challenge videos on games like Wuthering Waves, Azure Familia, and some other games that I plan on covering from time to time. Also join the Hideout on Discord. You can reach out to me personally through the Discord channel, and I will try my best to answer any of your questions that you have. You can also suggest video ideas in the comments or in the Discord channel. Any of them is fine. But with that said, thank you all once again for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace, guys.